going back and forth conversation. I'm just expressing what I believe. You know who you are. You know who you are as a person, so I'm not gonna say who you are. I'm just making an observation. So in making an observation, there's no need to get defensive because I'm gonna tell you what happens when you get defensive and start going back and forth. That makes it seem like, damn, I'm guilty of that. That's who I am, and that's not what it is. The case is, I'm just telling you, it's okay to be chill.
Well, do you think being aggressive is like a bad thing? Like, do you think that's a bad thing? It's all about how you come off and play. It's all about how you come off as being aggressive, how you come off being chill, because you can have both sides. You can be chill, but have to be aggressive sometimes as well. So,
Yeah.
I don't really think it's a bad thing.
I'm glad you understand what I'm saying, because I don't care if you get mad at me or not, because you'll be talking to me in a few days anyway. So that's just how it is. And I'm going, one thing you know about me, and this directly for James, I'm going to always keep it real, and my observations have never changed, and they never will. So, just know, I go hard on you, but it's because I know what you want out of life. And I'm honestly and truly trying to help you seek out what you want. But until you open not even your ears, until you open your mind, all I can do is keep preaching to you. You know what I'm saying?
I got another question for you.
I ain't shaking my head at you. Yeah. What you say, home?
Question.
Oh, shout out to Mr. LP, because I see he's watching, and we appreciate the love, because we listen to you also, and we know we'll be with you very soon. So thanks for all your support, and we'll be talking soon. You see AJ? Can you see AJ over there? Oh, she right there. AJ right there. Oh, you watch. Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah.
I got something to say about what Steve said. He said if you know the game, you supposed to someone, if you know the game, you don't get played.
Okay.
That's not true.
Okay.
Somebody plays better than you. Because I'm about to say, somebody play that game way better than you can. Yes, that's just like you playing cards. You can play cards all day.
True.
If I can read your hand, I can play your hand better than you.
And run on Boston on that.
Yeah. So I don't always do that. To know the game, you don't get played, but that's not true, because somebody can play that game better than you can. There's always somebody that's one step ahead of you.
Well, and you know what? And I'm not knocking that whatsoever. I agree. I think personally, like I was doing the thing tonight. I think you got to know the rules. You got to know the rules. You got to know, but the other part is you got to know who you are as a person, because sometimes in knowing the game too much, it might cause you.
But do you think those games? When do you think those games are too old to play?
That's what I was gonna say. I think we too grown to be playing games anyway.
When you get old.
So Mr. LP says, then you actually don't know the game, for you know when to walk away from those who you have no business with. Okay, now I can roll with that. Mr. LP, he was saying, if you know the game, then you'll know when it's time to walk away.
When you're 50 years old and still trying to hang with a bandana around your leg.
Oh my God.
In the club.
No.
You said 50. I'm saying when you 20. I'm 25. So I'm just gonna say when you 25 years old.
For us, as women, because we mature.
Yeah, you right.
Them men folk ain't thinking about.
True.
So let me ask y'all this. Let me just be real, ask y'all this, because this is real weird. How y'all feel about men with no car? That's all right. Well, how y'all feel about men with no car?
Let me tell you this how I feel about men with no car. Comes from home. If you don't have a car, but you have a $300 pair of shoes on your feet, I have a problem. If you walk around with a $300 pair of J's on, but you're not riding, not even a dune buggy, I have a problem. Because your priorities in the wrong place. If you got an iPhone 6S Plus, the new J's that just dropped, that was $350 on your feet.
Okay, so Jamila, all right, so let's address Jamila. So Jamila says it depends on the situation. Now, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm not talking about if you totaled your car last week or if your transmission blew. I'm talking about, oh, so do you drive? Well, see, my L's is messed up, and I got a car, but it's at my cousin crib in North Carolina. See all that.
I'm just gonna talk. I'm talking about you don't have a vehicle and you don't have anything. You don't have your driver license, but you're trying to fuck. You have your license or something like that. I'm talking about that. Like you walking around.
Oh yeah, if you got your license, this is my thing. If you have a legit license, I'm cool. And shout out to James for getting that good old CDL. I'm real proud of you. I meant to tell you that shout out because that's a big step.
That is a big step. That's great.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I will say he has really he came here, he came out, and he's doing his thing. So shout out to you for that. Yeah. And shout out to Ray for kind of being your mentor. But I think all these my L's is number one. You a grown ass man talking about your L's, your license that you don't have. Now, if it's because you ain't paid them fines, okay, I can deal with that. I can kind of really.
Why won't you pay your fine? Like what's the real problem? Like now, if it's a situation, if it's a situation like, I had to pay my rent, and then I let it go. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Now, priorities. I agree.
When you just ain't got them because I ain't feel like paying my fees, I feel like rolling a joint today. I had to buy my sack and not pay my fees.
Which brings me to another.
No, that's
what about this weed? What's up with this weed? So I mean,
the weed.
Yeah, what's up with the weed? Like why? I don't get it. So you want a job. You want a good paying job. You complain about getting paid $8 an hour, but you want a good job. But you only want to take the stuff to clean your system out to pass the drug test. You don't want to stop smoking to get a good job. Mm-hmm. What's up with that? But people stop smoking marijuana every day. Like,
but maybe they have it with being mediocre.
Maybe.
I'm just gonna smoke enough to support my head, and that's it.
I mean, maybe.
It's all about priority. I feel like this: if you smoke and you have a bill to be paid, or you need gas in your car, or you need something,
Mr. LP is communicating.
Your kid needs something like that. But instead of you about your important stuff, paying your bills, whatever, you go buy $10, $15, $20, whatever you go to roll up a few blunts to have. I think you have a problem there.
Okay, so let's acknowledge Mr. LP because Mr. LP says also you have to think about that in many states like Virginia, they put a lot of charges, false ones, just to keep men down, especially black men. A lot of the situations, the courts put high fines on purpose to keep men down for you have to take care of the rest, children, insurance, food. Okay, and you know what? I can rock with that. People need to stop with and then he said people need to stop with the weed, ban it and never let it come up again. It changes the DNA of people. Okay.
Oh yeah. I don't think
wait a minute. And Jamila says, why can't I smoke weed if my supervisor can be a professional crack addict?
True.
Now, and that much is true.
I don't know, Jamila. That's true, though. I don't know that part.
Stop telling them people you work with. Stop telling it, Chad.
I don't know.
If the people want to smoke, snort a lot, and do the ones and twos, it's cool.
But you know what? I really feel like a job should throw a random drug test out there every few months.
I feel like teachers need to be drug tested.
And I feel like you're right.
Teachers, because I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you this.
Police officers.
Yes, I observe people. And in observing people, I often say, now, you drug test the people who make ribbons and paper cups, but you not drug testing the people that's teaching your lawyers, doctors, and then think about doctors. What general everyday human being do you know can sometimes stay up for 48 and 72 hours straight doing surgery and successfully doing surgery?
I agree with you.
With nothing but coffee. What was James' comment? I kind of disagree because a lot of black men put themselves in these situations. You know, okay, and you know what? And we salute that. So, but we salute that. So, I think where we're going, where I was going with it is that, number one, I'm talking about the people that, you know, you smoking this weed, but you want this good job, and you mad because you're not getting a good job, but you won't stop smoking the weed. And number two, professionals, like Jamila said, doctors and lawyers, they get the good stuff. They get real cocaine. They get cocaine, not crack. They get cocaine.
Like what you say.
They get pills. You remember Whitney Houston said crack is whack.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, you know, when as an adult, and this is my thing, I'm not knocking these 20-year-olds smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? But when in your 30, 40, 50-year-old life are you going to put the weed down and realize you need a good job? You need sustainability. These young kids not working. You're not going to have no Social Security. So, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't join the military at 40. You can't join the military at 50. Unless you're going to cash in your life insurance policy that most of you don't have. Like, what are you going to do for money? I'm sorry, and I get passionate about this stuff because it's real. We got to wake up. We are not planning for our futures. We're planning for the here and now. We're living in the here and now, and we got to plan. Let me, I see Justin chimed in, but let me acknowledge Mr. LP. So he said, you can't smoke because you have to be the better person, and you never know if you may get offered that job, but you get caught because you're also at fault. Can't complain about the chicken being burned. You know, I agree with that. I have a friend right now. We had a conversation this morning, and I'm trying to work on helping him get a position where he can feel comfortable, but he had a little slip up, and he got a random drug test. But he was upset because he had a drug test three times in the past year, and he was saying a lot of other people hadn't had a drug test. And you know, with that in mind, it did take me back to, you know, maybe it is discriminatory because he and some other African American guys, you know, stated that this had happened, but some other people hadn't had one. They said they hadn't had any accidents, they hadn't been late. So, you know, with respect to things like that, that's when I have these conversations, because I feel like if you know that people are gunning for you, just stop the behavior. Just stop the behavior. Holmes, do you see what Mr. LP, Stephen Sykes, what he said, so we can acknowledge? Okay, James said, to be honest, if I was rich or well off, I would smoke every day and enjoy life, but I can't. I mean, I can, but I feel like the risk outweigh the benefit. And that's true. And that's true. And I'm glad you acknowledged that.
This is something about, like, smoking weed messes people mind. This is something I have to analyze. Now, do I smoke weed? No, I don't. But I have a friend from college. Yes.
Hell, our students be high as hell, and they get A's on tests when they high. I mean,
that's how some people function. You know, she went to college with me. She's from a small city, Abbeville, Alabama. Really small, smaller where I'm from. Don't you follow? But she smoked all the way through college.
Oh wow.
So she's now in pharmacy school, rocking her thing, doing her thing. Now, does she smoke now? Not as much, because she said they does random drug tests. But she said to study, that helps function her mind. Is it true? I don't know, because I don't smoke. But I can only go off what she said. I tell people that smoke weed, be mindful of what you do. If you can't afford to smoke
That's
weed,
true.
or you can't afford to do drugs,
That's true. That's true.